We'll call this meeting to order. It's 6:04. If BJ could take roll, please.
And Aaron Salazar,
Present.
Counselor Justin Salazar Torres, Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez,
Honored to be with you.
Counselor Denise Benavides.
So we will not have a quorum, but we will listen to for discussion. What is it?
MS franchise agreement for internet services.
Yeah, we'll listen to Hemis, the Hemis Mountain franchise agreement. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you. And for the record, just go ahead and introduce yourself. Thank you, sir.
Members of the committee, good evening. My name is Michael Hastings. I'm the CEO and General Manager at Jemez Mountains Electric Cooperative. And joining me this evening are two of my senior staff members. First is Tomas Barella. He's the manager of our broadband business. And then also Dennis Astley, who is our assistant general manager, but also our head engineer for the co-op. And we're here to talk about a broadband franchise agreement. If you'll recall, approximately a year ago or so, we approached the city council, the city about a electric franchise agreement. We'd gone a number of years without one. We were, at that time, the co-op was going ahead and collecting 2% from the citizens of Espanola and then turning that over to the city. But we needed to get that memorialized in a franchise agreement. And so we did. And it was a good exchange back and forth. And we got a draft that everybody was comfortable with. We did raise the amount to 3% in that electric franchise agreement just for electric. There's some language in the electric franchise agreement that you could probably say would allow us to do the broadband too, but we felt it important to have a separate agreement for broadband. And so that's the draft that I gave to you all this evening. Just to maybe make a couple of comments about it. It's pretty vanilla. It's based exactly on the electric franchise agreement. It's non-exclusive. In other words, the city can grant franchise agreements to other entities if it wants to. We do have 3% in there. And what our hope is that, once we get to stringing fiber in the city of Espanola, we'll also be able to fairly quickly start producing some revenue. And that the franchise agreement then would allow, under the current draft, approximately 3% basically of the revenue the co-op gets from broadband from the citizens of Espanola. Fairly common other places, but that's how we would like to propose going forward with the city. And I'd be glad to answer any questions that you might have.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Hastings, for your presentation, and thank you, Tomas and Dennis, for your presence in our meeting and for your interest in this situation. I find it the first thing I looked down at, and it said franchise not exclusive. I always thought franchise agreements were exclusive. So
I'm sorry. Yes, the idea is that there can be theoretically more than one franchise. You see that a lot in larger cities, though, not so much smaller cities. But how can I say this? We didn't want to be presumptive about that. And so we left it, but we can make it exclusive if the city would like to.
So the other question that I have, and it probably deals with the engineering part and probably Mr. Varela's part in what's a timeline for this all to happen? Because I can't tell you how I really wish this would have already happened 2 years ago. Do you know what I mean? It's something that, you know, when they talked about ReadyNet, we always thought that ReadyNet was going to be available to the general public at some level relatively quickly, and that it was going to just be like swept up very quickly, and sort of like, I feel like it never really became an option for the consumer here in town unless you really searched it out. You know what I mean? So what's the timeline for something like this to come to fruition and be a reality in our community?
I would say in calendar year 2024, that would be our hopes at least. We are working right now with OK Wingay. We did get a grant for OK Wingay that goes through from our headquarters over the river through OK Wingay up towards Alcalde and Velarde. And that we got that through the Connect New Mexico grant. And our thought was, as we completely covered OK Wingay, just move south into Espanola from there. We've also made separate engineering plans to go straight south on the Chama Highway from our headquarters into Espanola that way. One issue that we do have, not to put anybody on the spot here, but technically the Santa Clara Pueblo starts at Fairview Avenue going south. And we currently don't have an agreement with them, or a right-of-way of agreement for broadband. So that's why we're thinking we'll come in through the north end from OK Wingay on that highway into Espanola down to Fairview for sure. And then we also have plans basically on Highway 76 from Riverside up to Truchas through Chimayo. So those are other things that we've looked at doing, hopefully as quickly as we can. What our plan is, just to be totally transparent here, we want to have specific broadband financing because we're not planning to use electric revenues to support this venture. We want to use broadband revenues and debt from broadband. Yeah. And so we're working right now on those financial commitments for broadband financing.
Just one more question concerning
Sure.
The franchise agreement. How time sensitive is this? Is this something that the council needs to hear like ASAP, or what's your thought on it?
Probably the sooner the better. I know we have waited while the city did not have a city manager. We felt that we should hold off, which we did. But now that Mr. Lujan is on board, we have met with him. We've talked with him about this. His thinking, I believe, is that we go ahead and handle it on an expeditious, fairly quick basis. If it works out for both parties. I believe that if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Lujan was going to turn over the franchise agreement draft to the current city attorney. We had worked with a different city attorney on the electric agreement. So I'm assuming that we might have some questions from the current city attorney.
I think if you've already spoken to Mr. Lujan and the attorney already has it in hand, I don't see why it shouldn't be on the December 12th meeting agenda.
Okay.
Mr. Lujan is out of town today.
Yes.
He returns today, and the mayor does too. So I think once they have an opportunity to understand the sensitivity of it and get it on the next agenda, I think it's possible. I don't think we're having that second meeting in November, so I think the first time we'll have an opportunity will be that 12th of December.
Very good.
Could you do me a favor?
Sure.
Copies of the franchise agreement itself for all the governing body members. I'll put it in their memo.
Okay.
But everybody will have an opportunity to study that before we get to it.
Let's do it with this.
And then concerning these.
I have 6 copies here, but I'd be glad to make additional ones.
And I'll have the clerk make 3 more.
Okay.
See 7, 8, one more is all we, no, John probably know. We don't, is there one there too?
Yeah, I get
We're
it.
fine. That's enough.
Okay.
But just give them to
Okay.
them. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you. Say hi to your mom, okay? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Hastings. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for everything you guys are doing for our community.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I think you just go ahead and, unless there's something that is really, really important that they need.
Was there something pending that you guys needed to present or can you save it for the next Public Works meeting? That way. Sure. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.